So after the recent CNBC debate, the Republicans threw a tantrum and they suspended the next NBC debate that's coming up in February. And now they're presenting a list of demands for every debate. Now, this is absurd in so many ways. I mean, even the fact that they suspended the next NBC News debate is crazy because, of course, the cast for CNBC and the cast that would be in the next debate for NBC, totally different casts, but they don't care. Hey, you're affiliated enough. I mean, it's the same parent company, so therefore we're cutting ties. And this is unprecedented. The idea that people who are running to be president of the United States of America, that the people who want to be the ultimate servant in American politics, somebody who represents all the people, they are making demands from the media. The way a free and independent press works is supposed to be the opposite. It's supposed to be, no, you are running for the office, so we make demands of you. I mean, how fucking entitled are you that you want to run for office and say, oh, I need everything to be exactly right, you can't question me in such a difficult way. Who the fuck are you, Muammar Gaddafi? What are we doing here? It's incredible. So let me run through the list. There's a long list of their demands, but you'll get a sense of how absurd some of the things are that they're asking for. Now, some of them are actually legitimate, but the legitimate things, I mean, they're already kind of implied. But they felt the need to write it out and demand it because they're so mad about the CNBC debate, which wasn't nearly as ridiculous as they're making it out to be. So first of all, they ask that there be, quote, parity and integrity for the questions. Okay, you know what that really means, right? It means don't ask us anything that we don't like. So when we say, hey, parity and integrity for the questions, it means let us pre-approve all the fucking questions. They continue. Will there be questions? This is all from the RNC. Will there be questions from the audience or social media? How many? How will they be presented to the candidates? Will you acknowledge that you, as the sponsor, take responsibilities for all the questions asked, even if not asked by your personnel? Will there be a gong, buzzer, bell when time is up? How will the moderator enforce time limits? Will you commit that you will not, quote, ask the candidate to raise their hand to answer a question, ask yes or no questions without time to provide a substantive answer? That one makes sense. Allow candidate-to-candidate questioning. Allow props. The fuck are you, Carrot Top? Or pledges by the candidates. Have reaction shots of members of the audience or moderators during debates. Show an empty podium after a break. Describe how far away the bathrooms are. I don't even know what that means. Use behind shots of the candidates showing their notes. Leave microphones on during the breaks, so I guess the moderators can't say to each other, like, oh, look at fucking Jindal, what a wreck he is. Allow members of the audience to wear political messages, shirts, buttons, signs, etc., and who would enforce that? And also, let's stop here for a second to think about that. You know what's going to happen with that? They're going to pay, every campaign is going to pay people to go in there and wear their shit. So they'll try to bias the audience in one direction or another. So once you do this, I mean, this is fucking slippery slope to just pure propaganda fest here. They say, what instructions will you provide to the audience about cheering during the debate? They want to micromanage the fucking cheering. What are your plans for the lead-in to the debate? A pre-shot video? Announcer to moderator? Director to moderator? And how long is it? And here's my favorite. Can you pledge that the temperature in the hall will be kept below 67 degrees? I assume that one's for Chris Christie, but I digress. No, come on, guys. Now, like I said, are there some of these that are understandable? Yes, when you say something like, don't limit me to a fucking minute to answer a complex question on tax policy, I get that, and I think we should rework all of the debates to not have the soundbite debate and to have a real debate of ideas and policies. But that's the thing with the Republicans, you're never going to get a debate of ideas and policies. They never give you that because they don't know dick about the substance. So when it really comes down to it, what they're trying to do here is micromanage to turn the debates into propaganda. They don't want adversarial questions. They don't want to have follow-ups. They don't want to be fact-checked. And if you look at it, that's where all the outrage really came from. Like, for example, in the last debate, the CNBC debate, one of the moderators told Ben Carson, Ben, your tax plan, the math simply does not add up without ballooning the deficit and the debt tremendously, and you say you're going to balance that while you do all these other things, and that's not mathematically possible. And he got angry, and he fired back at them, and they said, no, but you're not getting it. It's just the math doesn't work. Economists say this is crazy. And that's counted as, people look at that as fucking liberal bias in the media. That's not a liberal bias. It's a factual bias. It's caring about the actual information and the data and the substance and the numbers. But this is what they're trying to do now. They're trying to morph this into, an authoritarian type non-debate where each candidate gets blown and they get to say whatever the fuck they want to say. There's no follow-up questions, and the RNC gets to micromanage everything about the debate. When you want people in the audience with your pins and your signs and your shirts and they get to cheer for your guy, you're simply asking for this to be fake, for this to be a setup. I mean, honestly, you think with all the money that we have in politics right now, that wouldn't be thing number one to do on the checklist? You don't think that the different campaigns, you don't think Jeb Bush, who has more money than everybody, but he's doing terrible in the polls, you don't think that his campaign would buy people to go in there and cheer for Jeb no matter what the fuck he says? Of course that's going to fucking happen. No, enough. I'm done with this. We need to go further down this road, go further in that direction. But instead, now we have people like Ted Cruz, who just came out the other day and said we should have, quote, real journalists doing debates for the Republicans, like Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity. All right, if that doesn't terrify you, even if you're a conservative, there's no hope.